everyone. This is RoninDave visiting me all the way from Tokyo he's Maggie's old boyfriend. They used to hang out.
Oh, no. Don't tell Dai-chan.
Maggie gets around. Maggie and Dai-chan. Maggie and RoninDave. And that's gonna come on later.
Oh, sorry.
I'm jealous. She's mine now. But RoninDave has always been, in my mind, the authority on YouTube on Japanese history. However, recently, one of my other good friends here on YouTube, Lucidity, has just started up a channel, with my blessing, of course, with the Godfather's blessing, called Japanese for Morons.
Japanese history for morons.
That's what I said. Japanese history for morons.
Yes.
And she's just put out her second episode today.
Oh, really? I've seen the first one. I haven't seen the second one.
And we haven't seen it yet, but what are you doing? Make up your mind. Where do you want to put your head?
I know from our discussion, she has a love affair for Oda Nobunaga.
Oh, really?
She would have...
I thought he was gay.
I think he swung both ways.
Oh. Swung.
I think...
Literally swung.
Yes. In fact, his boy toy was
like
kind
tennis.
of the reason he got it in the end.
Got it in the end? Is that a pun?
Oh, sorry. God. All right. No. Okay, that was not intentional. But yeah, supposedly his page. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. Lucidity probably knows it. But kind of pissed off Akichi Mitsuhide. Akichi Mitsuhide was the one that eventually ambushed and killed Oda Nobunaga.
That's why homosexuality is bad. You could lose a complete empire if you don't pay attention to where you're swinging, so to speak. Of course, you know
I was going to say Lucidity would have Oda Nobunaga's love child.
Really?
I think so. Yeah, she did.
Lucidity, if you're watching
obsessed
this, and I know you will,
Nobunaga.
then please let us know what your stand on that. But anyway, Lucidity put up, she just started her new channel, new series called Japanese History for Morons, with the Godfather's consent, of course, and I said, of course. She made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and it's pretty good so far. Her first episode is on the mythical origins. So today, what we're going to do is ask RoninDave. And by the way, if you don't know RoninDave, he's one of the original YouTube bloggers. David, you're one of the first guys, right?
Well, I started in 2006, but back then I was only posting like very short, unedited clips.
But he finally got a really good camera like 2 years after that, and he's doing very well now. His videos are amazing, so check him out. Really good quality. And if you're if you're seriously interested in the matsuris or festivals, and real like stuff that you never see anywhere else, and this guy's, but unfortunately, no boobs. That's all I can see. That's gotta be honest.
I do have quite a few videos with cute Japanese girls in them.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, so you're going to tell us about the real origins of Japan.
Oh, okay, well, I say real origins. Like Lucidity talked about like the mythological origins, which was Izanami and Izanagi no Mikoto, the gods who created Japan and gave birth to all the gods.
This is like the the Christian god 7 days.
Yeah, kind of like that. Except they weren't the first gods; they were actually the 7th generation. But it doesn't really matter because the 6 generations before that didn't do anything really.
Right.
But Izanagi and Izanami, they were the ones that actually went down into, I guess you'd say, the physical sphere. And
so they went down.
Yes. Well, actually, eventually they did.
So they're the real heroes?
Yeah. Well, they were the other gods, but they didn't really do anything.
No, they're mythical. I'm sorry, they're mythical, right?
Yeah.
We're still mythical. Sorry,
yeah.
I thought we already jumped.
Unless you're a Shintoist, this is reality.
That means this is real. This is like creationism.
But
we believe in that.
The
dinosaurs and humans playing together.
Yeah, why not? Izanagi and Izanami, they were the 7th generation. They were given the task to come into, I guess you'd say, to the world with the spear, a jeweled spear, to create Japan. Which is rather interesting because they don't actually mention about creating the world. It's only Japan.
Well, Japan is the world.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, but if you want to go at the real history of Japan, it goes back to the Paleolithic period, about 30 to 35,000 years ago.
Is that a movie?
No.
You don't have that one on you? Jurassic Period, Paleolithic.
But supposedly the first humans...
Paleolithic is after Jurassic, right?
Yeah, quite quite a lot, a few million years or so.
Okay.
But Paleolithic, it's believed that the first humans came to Japan about 30 to 35,000 years ago. Now, there's some controversy about that because before 35,000 years ago, it's kind of like, we're not so sure, because there was an archaeologist who was planting artifacts.
A fake guy, right?
Yeah, you heard about that. Yeah. So he was trying to say that there was people in Japan hundreds of thousands of years ago who had like a superior Stone Age technology that was, hundreds of thousands.
He was planning like iPods.
Yeah, something. Well, I mean,
the Walkman.
Well,
the Walkman.
The equivalent, Paleolithic-wise, the equivalent of such. But he was exposed, and so now anything further back than 5,000 years.
I'm sure all the Japanese records are called him a Korean.
Oh yeah.
He must have been
there
Korean.
Was definitely. No. Actually, I think before they were supporting him because it was like saying like, oh, Japan was so much superior.
Right.
So anything before 35,000 years ago is subject to doubt.
Okay.
But after 35,000 years ago, definitely there was people here.
I want to remind you.
Oh, sorry.
With due respect, this is YouTube.
Okay.
Short attention span.
All right.
Short
Okay. So
attention span.
real quickly, so Paleolithic people were living here. The real Japanese history begins with Jomon because they were the ones that made lacquerware.
Right.
And pottery that was rope mark pottery. That's where the word Jomon comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Yayoi people started to appear around 300 BC.
So they're different people?
That is an interesting question. That's where it gets all kind of like mixed into a lot of political and social stuff that if we got into, we might get a lot of flame wars going on there of who were the Yayoi people.
The Yayoi just might start flame warring
Exactly.
with the Jomons.
But
we were first.
Like the Jomon, many people consider them the ancestors to the Ainu. But what I've read
about the Ainu are the
indigenous
Aboriginal or indigenous people of Japan, and most of the few
especially
that are left.
Hokkaido.
Yeah, the few that are left in Hokkaido.
But yeah, there was the Yayoi
They're hairier
culture,
than Japanese.
The Yayoi culture started in Kyushu, and then spread from there. And then you get the next period is known as a Kofun Period. Kofun, they call it Kofun because Kofun is the earthen mounds that they built for the kings and nobles of that time. And I think from DNA testing, the Kofun people were pretty much modern Japanese.
Okay.
But the Yayoi and the Jomon were kind of separate. But I guess you could say by the time of the Kofun period, that two kind of mixed.
Oh.
And the Yayoi period, the end of the Yayoi period is when you have the legendary Himiko.
Himiko. Oh, princess.
Yes. Well, actually, she was not a princess. She was the queen of Yamatai, or Yamatai-goku, which is like summer country or something like that. But this is from the Chinese records. This is not in the Japanese records.
Oh.
But the Chinese records record that a Himiko lived...
I heard about this. And she ruled Japan. And she was a woman.
Well, we don't know if she ruled all of Japan, but a good percent of Japan. Right. And then the question is where her capital was, either in Nara or Kyushu. Right. Personally, I support the Kyushu. But,
I've heard of that. And there's some record. Okay.
Yeah, and then in the Nihon Shoki, right here,
he actually walks around. Seriously, I've known this guy forever. Like I've known him like 3 years now.
Yeah.
This guy walks around with his book in his pocket, like pornography. This guy. I don't want to know what's. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't be touching this book with my gloves. But anyway, whatever excites you, right? Different strokes. Oh, different strokes for different folks. Different spit in my face. So get to the. Are you talking about the physical part now?
Oh yeah. Well,
Okay,
these are the
physical.
Jomon, Yayoi, Kofun.
This is all real.
Actual. Yeah, this is the real archaeological evidence that we have. Plus with the Chinese historical records. Like the Izanami no and all that is in the Nihon Shoki, but of course that's the creation myth, and it mentions, of course, nothing about Jomon and Yayoi.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because see, the Nihon Shoki and the Kojiki were both written around the end. They were being compiled at the end of the 600s, early 700s, the Asuka and Nara period. So much later. Because the Jomon period, we believe, goes back anywhere from 15,000 BC to about 300 BC. Yayoi period is 300 BC. Though some push it back to 1000 BC to about 380. Kofun period goes from about that time to about
about 500 AD.
Yeah, Kofun goes to about 380 to about 550s almost, when Buddhism was introduced to Japan.
What's after that?
And that's the Asuka period. They call it the Asuka period because the capitals of the emperors were located in the Asuka area. They weren't always in the centers.
Where's the Asuka area?
It's near Nara.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it used to
way
be
west of Tokyo.
It used to be that every time the emperor would die, they would build a new capital because it was believed that the death polluted the place. And it wasn't Nara became the official capital, and they stopped doing that. Maybe because the properties were tired of building and rebuilding.
It became ridiculous. Like,
yeah,
this is a perfectly good capital. We don't have to build a new capital.
Yeah, and so the Asuka period, and so the Nihon Shoki and Kojiki were kind of compiled right at the end of the Asuka and beginning of the Nara period. And so, so it's several centuries after, Jomon and Yayoi and Kofun. And so it's like a mixture probably of memories and of course, and a lot of it's embellishment and borrowing from Chinese legends.
Oh.
Yeah.
So this is called the Nihongi? Mm-hmm. That's right?
Oh, well, it says Nihongi.
Yeah.
But it's wrong.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, no Japanese person knows that. But if you call it the Nihon Shoki, it's a problem with translation. The Nihon Shoki is the name of this text.
Okay.
The other text is the Kojiki.
How old is this book? Dude, it looks really old.
Well, this book is about 30 years old.
This is a 30-year-old. And it cost 2,000 yen way back in the day. That must have been a lot of money.
Well, that's what I paid when I bought it.
Jesus. So...
But I was saying, the Nihon Shoki compared to the Kojiki, it's all about translation. This one was translated by W.G. Aston. And what I like about him...
Aston. He said ass.
Ash. I told him about the ass, baby. No, anyway, his translation, he uses the Japanese names. Like, for example, Izanagi, Izanami. But in the Kojiki that was translated by Basil Chamberlain, he uses the English translation throughout the text. So it's like male who rises or he who rises the whole time. And that gets rather annoying and tedious.
So he uses, he tries to translate the English.
Yeah, and you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's annoying.
It sounds like, for example, he'll say, Princess Orange Blossom. Just give her a real name. At least Aston, he only mentions the translation, the English translation, in the footnote, but he uses a Japanese name all throughout the text, which is better because Japanese people don't know Orange Blossom.
Yeah.
They don't know he who rises. They know Izanagi. They know Izanami.
But when you meet Japanese people and they say things like, my name is whatever, they'll say Yanagi-sawa, and they'll say, that means willow hill or whatever that means. Things like that.
But it's good, like I said, that's what I like about the Nihon Shoki translation, is that he uses a Japanese name, so it kind of embeds itself in your memory, so you remember the names of these emperors, especially the gods.
Yeah.
Especially the gods.
Now, one thing, just so everyone knows, RoninDave's Japanese actually sucks.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
But his fucking knowledge, I'm sorry, I said the F word.
Ah, sorry.
It was out of passion, I apologize. His knowledge of the Japanese history is amazing. I've had him in a few of my classes before. He's come to my classes, and I have really smart middle-aged women, like smart teachers from others. They teach at school, and he can stump them. He can stump them. They think they can't. They go, oh, there's no way this guy is going to be able to stump like this. He can stump them every time. So, and I've actually,
I'm a freak.
I've actually urged him to make his own history-related channel many times. And I've invited him to be a guest sensei many times. But he prefers just to drink with me and play with Maggie's nipples. So.
Wait, no.
Anyway, so I hope you learned something out of that.
Good job, Lucy.
Before this video is posted, I'm going to send this to you, and I'm going to ask you to give me some notes to put in the description.
Okay.
So I can say, hey, check the description for those of you who are actually studying notes, and you'll learn something from that.
Yeah, I probably babbled a few expressions that somebody like.
And please check out RoninDave's channel. It's called youtube.com/RoninDave.
And
of course,
like festivals.
And yeah, especially if you like festivals, they're very good. And no, they're actually really good. Their festivals. He's been to almost every festival in Japan. Well, at least what, 80%? A lot of them. A lot of them. More than any other YouTuber. More than me. And I've been to a lot of them. And of course, check out Jessica's channel, Lucidity 2.
Oh yeah, sorry.
The channel's called Lucidity 2. And if you're also interested, there's another channel called Pandiddy who actually did a response to Lucidity 2.
Oh yeah, that was rather interesting.
Which was pretty good.
She was talking about the difference between the Kojiki and the Nihon Shoki.
Yes.
How it was translated.
She doesn't do a lot of videos because she's too busy gaming. But her name is Amanda, and Amanda, make more videos with substance. Stop gaming all the time. Thank you. Alright guys, thanks for watching.
Yes.
Maggie, wake the hell
Cheers.
up. What's going on? It's yawning. Alright, bye guys.
See ya.